You want to invest, but you have no idea how much. Is it 1,000, 5,000, 20,000? Most people just guess. When you guess with money, you either invest too little and build nothing, or so much that you feel broke and quit all the time. In this video, I'll give you 5 simple frameworks so you never have to guess again. By the end, you'll know exactly how much you should be investing. Let's be honest, investing isn't about being aggressive or conservative. It's about finding that sweet spot where you can invest for 30 plus years without hating your life. If you earn 50,000 a month and push yourself to invest 30,000 every single month, you might survive for maybe 3 or 6 months. Then your friends will call you for dinner. You feel poor. You get frustrated and you stop. But if you invest 10,000, that's something that you can keep doing through market crashes, job changes, marriages, kids, everything. So the goal is not maximum possible investment. The goal is, what can I invest consistently without burning out? It's like fitness. The best workout isn't the killer workout you do once. It's the one you can keep showing up for. Same with investing. These 5 frameworks go from total beginner to I want to properly optimize my life. Pick the one that fits where you are today. Framework 1. Let's start with the easiest one, the 50-30-20 rule. Your monthly income is split as 50% for needs, which includes your rent, your food bills, your essential transport, etc. 30% is for wants, eating out, movies, shopping, meeting friends, or even your hobbies. The remaining 20% is savings and investment, irrespective of what happens during that month. So if you earn 50,000 a month, your needs would be 25,000, wants would be about 15, and investments would be about 10,000. Clean, simple, and honestly, it works really well as a starting point. But here's the catch. This rule was typically designed for richer countries. In India, our needs are often more than 50% because unnecessary expenses on healthcare that isn't fully covered, supporting parents and family, which doesn't usually happen in the West, education costs that show up suddenly, lower starting salaries. So practically in India, this often becomes 60-25-15 or even 65-20 and 15, depending on your city. Let's take a quick example. Priya earns 60,000 a month in Bangalore. Rent is about 18,000. Food and transport, 8,000. Bills and utilities, another 3,000. Phone and subscriptions, another 2,000 on top. The total comes out to 31,000. That's roughly 52% of her total income. So she tweaks the rule a little bit. Her needs, 31,000, become 52%. Her wants are adjusted and become 23%, which is at 14,000. She can still invest 25% of her income at 15,000 rupees. That still keeps her lifestyle comfortable and gets 15,000 into investments every single month. Use this framework when you're just starting or you're not tracking your expenses. You just need one simple rule. The pros are it's super easy and it works for most income levels. The cons on this could be it doesn't consider loans and EMIs or specific situation. If you just follow this properly, you're already ahead of most people. This is the plain vanilla framework. Now, let's upgrade. Let's look at framework 2, the progressive framework. This one is for people whose income changes over time. It's called the progressive framework for that reason. Logic is simple. When income is low, expenses eat most of it. So you invest a smaller percentage. As your income rises and you move up the ladder, you slowly ramp up your percentage. Here's the structure. When your income is about 20 to 30,000 a month, you only invest 10 or 12%. That's 2 to 3,000. When your income grows between 30 and 50,000 a month, you invest about 12 to 18%. Your income grows to 75,000. You increase your investment amount between 18 to 25%. Above 75,000, you can invest somewhere about 25 to 35%. And if it goes above a lakh, you invest more than 35% of your salary. Let's bring this to life. Let's look at Rahul. At 23, he starts with a starting salary of 25,000. He invests 3,000 a month, which is 12%. At 28, he gets a promotion and his salary jumps to 45,000. He invests 8,000 a month now, which is about 18%. At 35, he gets married, moves a job. His salary increases to 75,000. He invests 20,000 a month. That's 27% of his salary. At 50, his kids are mostly in college. His salary is about 2 lakh. He invests 70,000 of that 2 lakh. That's 35%. He doesn't start it, he builds it progressively. By age 60, his total investment amount over the 37 years is about 1.3 crores. The total portfolio value though would roughly be between 7 and 8 crores depending on his returns. That's the magic of increasing your investments with your income. Use this framework when you have a stable or growing career. You can review your finances once a year. You want something more tailored than the 50-30-20. The pros are this scales with you. It feels natural at every stage of your life. The cons here are it needs yearly check-ins, assumes you have some income growth at least. Now, let's look at framework 3. Frameworks 1 and 2 tell you how much to invest. Framework 3 answers where you should start investing that money. The 40-60 idea comes from portfolio theory. 40% goes into debt, FDs, bonds, debt mutual funds, government treasuries. 60% goes into equities, stocks, equity mutual funds, index funds, ETFs. It's a nice middle path for most people in their 30s and 40s. The typical rule is 110 minus your age. At age 25 to 35, clearly early in your career, you can take risk. Then you allocate 20% to debt, 80% to equity. Between 35 and 45, which is mid-career, 40% to debt and 60% to equity. Towards your late career, between 45 and 55, that becomes 60% allocated to debt and 40% to equity. Above 55, you're close to retirement. So you'd want everything to be safe, which is why you would allocate 80% to debt and 20% to equity. A simple example in this case. Anjali is 38, decides to invest 20,000 rupees a month, not more. She uses the 40-60 style allocation for her age. Her debt is 8,000 a month. She invests that into FDs, debt funds, government bonds. The equity contribution would be 12,000 a month, which will go towards index funds, equity mutual funds, maybe even some individual stocks. If she keeps this going for 10 years and gets average return, the debt side grows to about 13 lakhs, which is 6% returns. The equity side grows to about 28 lakhs, 12% returns. Total returns are roughly 41 lakhs. Now, here's where people underestimate compound. If she just keeps doing the same thing for another 10 years, that 41 lakhs can grow to over 1.3 crore. Use this framework when you're already investing. You're juggling between multiple products. The market's ups and downs stresses you out. The pros are this is a very balanced and a smoother ride, very Indian middle class friendly. The cons on this might feel too safe if you're just 25, too risky if you're extremely conservative. Let me say something slightly unpopular. If you don't have an emergency fund, you shouldn't be investing for the long term yet, because this is what happens. You start investing, market's doing okay, then suddenly your laptop dies or your parent gets hospitalized, another 2 lakhs. You could also lose your job for 3 months and you're forced to sell all of your investments at the worst possible time. That's not wealth creation, that's wealth destruction. So here's the framework. Step 1, build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Say your monthly expenses are 40,000 after taxes and savings. Minimum emergency fund should be 3 times of that, which is 1,20,000. Ideally, you'd want more safety. That's about 6 months, which is 2,40,000. This money should be easy to access in a savings account, not locked in an FD. Safe, no equity, no crypto, earning something, high interest savings. In India, some neobanks offer up to 7% on savings. Step 2, only after this, start the long-term investing. Let's take an example. Vikram earns 60,000 a month. His expenses are roughly 45,000. Year 1, he saves 15,000 a month for 8 months, or 1,20,000 emergency. From year 2, he starts investing 12,000 per month as per the progressive framework. Over 20 years, the total invested value would be 28 lakhs and 80,000. His portfolio value would be about 1.1 crores. That's just at a 12% return. If he had skipped the emergency fund, every crisis would have pushed him to pull money out, often at a loss. Use this framework when you're just starting. Your job isn't super stable. You've seen emergencies wipe people out. The pros is this protects you from panic selling, reduces stress a lot. The cons, it delays real investing a bit, needs discipline not to touch that money. Pro tip, once that emergency fund is built, treat it like the glass in a fire alarm. Break only in case of an emergency. Now, for the most realistic framework, the life stage approach. This doesn't just look at your age, it also looks at your life situation. Stage 1, accumulation, age 22 to 35. The goal here is to build as much wealth as possible. The allocation would be 80, 90, even sometimes 100% equity, depending on your risk factor, and the remaining 10-20% in debt. You would invest 15 to 25% of your income. For an example, if your income is 40k, you probably invest about 6 to 10,000 a month. Stage 2, building, age 35 to 45. You're probably married by this age, maybe have 1 or 2 kids. The goal here is to have growth with stability. The allocation would be 60 to 70% for equity, 30 to 40% in debt. Invest about 20 to 30% of your income. As an example, if you earn 70,000, you would invest between 14 and 21,000 a month. Stage 3 of your life, consolidation. Your age is between 45 and 55. Your goal here is to protect your gains, but still grow a bit. Your kids are growing, they may be looking at college. Your allocation would be between 40 and 50% equity, 50 and 60% for the debt. You invest more now, 25 to 35% of your income. An example would be if you earn a lakh a month, you invest 25 to 35,000. Stage 4, you're closer to retirement, 55 plus. The goal here is to have income, but also make sure that your capital is safe. The allocation in this case would be 20 to 30% towards equity and 70 to 80% towards debt. You're now going to start withdrawing soon, not contributing. Say you have 60,000 a month coming from pension or withdrawals. Let's look at Raj as an example. Raj's journey, age 25, his salary is 35,000. Invest about 5,500 a month, which is 15%. 80% towards equity, 20% towards debt. Yearly investment of 66,000 rupees. At age 35, his salary is about 70. Invest about 14,000 a month, which is 20%. 60% equity, 40% debt. Yearly investment is 1,68,000. At age 45, his salary is bumped up to 1 lakh. He invests about 28,000 a month. 40% towards equity and 60% towards debt. The total yearly investment here is going to be 3,36,000. At At age 55, he's ready to retire. His portfolio would be around 2 to 2.5 crores depending on the returns. He can safely withdraw about a lakh a month to support his retirement. This is not I bought a private jet rich money, but very comfortable and very free. Use this when you're thinking long term. Your life is changing. Marriage, kids, parents, health. You want a system that adapts to you. The pros are going to be, this is the most realistic. Works with real life, not just on an Excel file. The cons, it definitely needs more review. Maybe quarterly, yearly at a minimum. And you also need to rebalance occasionally. The good news though, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay consistent. Let's do a quick recap so you can choose. Pick framework 1, 50, 30, 20. If you're a complete beginner, you want one simple rule, you just want to get started. Pick framework 2 if you're progressive. Your income is growing. You want to invest as you earn more. You're okay reviewing yearly. Pick framework 3, the 40-60 rule. If you're already investing, you want clarity on where to put the money. You're moderate with your risk factor. Pick framework 4, the emergency fund first. If you have no safety net, your income or life is unpredictable. You want to sleep peacefully at night. Pick framework 5, the life stage. If you're serious about long-term planning, responsibilities are going to keep changing. You want something that evolves with you. My personal suggestion, start with framework 4. Build that emergency fund. That's where I started. Then use framework 2 to decide how much to invest, where to invest. It's going to be through framework 3. For most Indians, that combination is realistic and very powerful. Alright, here's your homework for this week. 1. Total last month's expenses, not your salary, what you actually spent. Pick one framework, not all 5, just the one that feels right for you today. Calculate your number, how much you'll invest every month. Automate it. The day the salary hits your account, money should leave your main account and go to your investments. Check your portfolio only once a quarter. Daily checking is guaranteed stress, especially in this market. Please don't try to be a hero and invest 50% of your income when you know you'll quit in 6 months. Start with a number that feels boringly sustainable. You can always increase it later. In 10 years, you won't remember whether you started with 5,000 or 10,000. You'll only remember whether you stayed invested. That consistency, that's your real superpower. If this helped you figure out your number, hit like, subscribe to Invest with Vessify, and tell me in the comments which framework are you going to follow from this month.